We are back with our second episode of Who's Your Band? I'm sitting here with Sean Morton. Hello, Sean.
Hi, buddy.
And we are back. And how was the holidays, everything for you?
Oh, it was wonderful. Wonderful. Had a nice little break. And now we're getting back to the swing of the comedy thing and swing of our podcast again. So everything's great.
I think we have some good things coming up in the future here. And we are lucky to be sitting here with our special guest for this episode. It is the one and only, the comic Reverend, Mr. Bob Levy.
Thank you, guys. Good to be here. I like when you say special guest. You make me sound a little retarded. I love it.
we'll determine that at the end of this episode.
Oh, sure.
Well, we know you personally, so we know the truth anyway.
Yeah, we don't have to go down that road.
Okay, so let's get into this. Okay, so Bob, you grew up in Staten Island, right?
Yeah, I was born in Brooklyn, but.
Born in Brooklyn. Where'd you go to high school?
I went to Susan Wagner High School for like 6 years, and I still didn't graduate. I had to drop out.
Wait, time out.
Well,
you don't keep talking after that statement. You went to high school for 6 years and then didn't finish?
I still would have had to have been there another half a year, but the whole thing is I started driving. I had a car, you know what I mean? Right. Practically was engaged too at the time. I was so old, but but I was starting to drive like my friends' younger brothers and sisters to school. And I was like, this is just too much. Everybody was gone. It was like, you know what I mean? You had nobody anymore. Yeah. You walked in, nobody knew you.
You started high school at Wagner, or did you start in Brooklyn?
I started. No.
When did you move to Staten Island? How old were you?
Oh, I was in second grade, man. It was
okay. So you went to junior high school out there and everything.
Oh yeah.
What type of kid were you?
Sports, man. Everything. Baseball. Played everything. Hockey after school. You know, football. Everything. Sports was everything to me.
Now I grew up in Staten Island too, and I remember back in the day you had two distinct groups of kids. You had your disco kids, who were like influenced by the old Saturday Night Fever, and like they still kind of like we called them cousines. Yeah. And then you had your rockers. Okay?
Yeah, we called we had Critters or Guidos.
Oh yeah, Critters and Guidos.
That's what they were known.
Yeah. Because I grew up in Great Kills.
Me too.
And we would hang out at the creek, and we would play football behind Susan Wagner, and then like you'd go in the back of the woods and you'd smoke pot and drink beers on Friday night and have keggers and stuff.
Just on Fridays you did it.
Little known fact, I actually went to college in Staten Island too.
Did you really?
Yes, I did. St. John's University.
Oh, that's a good school.
Look at that. So Staten Island always is that common bond there. Yeah. And I remember what I used to do was I would sneak out of my house on like a Tuesday night on a weeknight because Twisted Sister played the Rock Pals down on Van Pelt. And it goes, tell my parents I was going to play rehearsal. Mm-hmm. And then I would go see Twisted Sister on a Tuesday night. And then you remember bands like Zebra and Phantom's Opera. Mm-hmm. Is that before your time?
No, I know Twisted Sister.
There was another big band with Twisted Sister back then. I forget the name. We used to go.
Was T.T. Quick?
T.T. Quick was around, but there was others, and it was the Rock Palace, and then what was the other one?
Snoopy's.
No, Snoopy's, but there was another one.
There was Snoopy's and the Factory, which is the same.
Factory.
It's the same place.
Okay, the Factory. I remember the Factory. Names. That's when I walked in with Twisted Sister, got to meet Dee Snider, interviewed him on the radio one time, and I go, "You remember the Factory?" And he's like, "Love the Factory," and I was like, "Yeah, I grew up there." I go, I met you. The bathroom, basically, you pissed in a bathtub. And I go, you remember the bathtub there?
It was disgusting.
Yeah.
Really?
It was disgusting.
And he was like, the fucking bathtub.
It was like a $5 cover charge, beers were cheap, and you'd see like these incredible bands. Oh, the other big band were like White Tiger.
That's who it was, yes.
White Tiger. I mean, and there would be like literally hundreds, of just like rockers, just like it looked like something out of Wayne's World. Mm-hmm. And everyone would just sit there and they do like covers and throw in a couple of originals. Yeah. But when Twisted Sister played, it was always something special. Oh. Remember?
Yeah. I don't know if it was them or another band that used to they used to open with Tie Your Mother Down. It might have been somebody else, but
Twisted Sister would open up with What You Do Can't Hurt You. Okay. And the music they would play before they came on, like from the DJ was that Who song. Rock is dead. What was that song called?
Oh yeah. Long live
rock. And then the lights would go down, and then they would open up, and it'd be that opening guitar with that, and then D would come running out. It's like, good evening, and then it was fucking great, man. I still get chills thinking about how awesome that was.
It was so much fun. I mean, you can go there and have $40 on you and have the time of your life.
Exactly. And now dopey fucking kids is paying $150 to watch some DJ drop a beat.
I don't even know when you see signs like on Atlantic City, like October 13th, DJ what he's gonna just play songs for me? Yeah, exactly. What am I, fucking stupid?
And everybody sits there and watches the DJ. Oh, is he gonna drop it?
And they make so much money pushing buttons.
It's unbelievable.
I don't get that, man.
Me either.
But they don't know like what that was like on a weeknight, and then like you go back to school the next day and you just didn't care. Like you got in at like 1:00 in the morning. You had to get up, but you saw Sister that night. You would wear your Twisted Sister shirt to school.
One of the greatest like things that I had in my band was when I got to play Lemoore in Brooklyn.
I love Lemoore.
And I always heard the history of it. I never got to really. I was a little younger to during the 80s and 90s to get to go out there, but I got to play there, and I remember selling just like we do with comedy. I was on the streets selling tickets, begging people to buy tickets. And I go in there and we open with the heaviest song we had, and the place just hated us. So I was like, but it was still a great experience.
Who were you on the bill with?
It's a metal band named God Forbid. They were pretty popular. This is back in 2000. So, but even the guy at the band was like, don't worry, man, that was really good. I enjoyed it. Fuck them. So, but it was still good. Like, it's a that era's gone. That era's just gone at this point.
It is gone. So you're in Susan Wagner High School, and you're driving a car, and you're 47 years old in high school still.
Yeah.
And so who winds up being like your band? Like who was like the band for you to go see? Like who's your favorite band?
Well, the first one that I went to, I think it should be everyone's, especially in a time, was Kiss. It was like was
that your first concert?
Yes, even if you didn't.
Too. Do you remember when?
76. But the whole thing is that like I wasn't a huge fan of the music. It was the show that brought you into it. Like anybody can go see them, and then you can get into the music kind of later if you want. Right. But it was like it was amazing. I see, you're sitting there on mescaline, and some big tall Jewish guy in a wig is shooting fire out of his mouth. This is amazing.
Kiss was my first show. It was a couple of years later. I think the Kiss Alive 2 tour. We may have talked about this on the last show. Just how great that show was. And Billy Squire's band Piper was the opening act.
Shit, exactly.
Yeah.
Piper, yeah.
But remember like Kiss, and it would have like the drum riser and stuff. I mean, and they opened up with Detroit Rock City.
I don't know what they opened up, but it was a great concert. I think I remember.
I've never felt so young in my entire life.
But it was amazing.
Like Sean is like, he's a neophyte here. Okay?
Yeah. But the first band I seen live, you would have to say is Piper. Because they opened up for them.
They opened up, right? And do you remember like what a great feeling it is to go to Madison Square Garden?
Oh man!
And like you'd walk in, and like you back then, you people smoked in the arena.
Yeah,
like you could smoke in it. And I don't know if you were like this dicky kid like I was, but like me and my friends, we would get like smoke bombs. Remember smoke bombs?
Yeah.
And packs of fireworks, and you'd light fireworks and you throw them up in the air. And the thing was, they would go off before they would hit the ground. And every now and then, one pack would just like go on the ground and go off, or you take smoke bombs and roll down the aisle.
No, we definitely weren't an asshole like you growing up. But no, like we
used to do shit like that.
I just watched the show and drank.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I remember rolling like 60 joints and keeping them in my bomber jacket. You wore in the winter.
I kept it in my locker in school.
Oh, did you?
Until the day of the show.
I would never get one because I could never remember the combination. So I just go with a fucking hammer.
So like, who was so you were a musician growing up too, right? What did you play?
I played the bass.
Oh, cool.
And I was good at it, but I had to mostly be taught. Like, I don't have the sound like of picking up it. Like my son's a genius with that stuff. Anything he can listen to, and it's just boom, he got it. And But I would have somebody basically teach me songs at the beginning, you know,
Okay.
and it was a good music. I remember being in a band, for a short time. Chasm Sultan's brother, I think he was a drummer.
Chasm Sultan's brother Alex.
Was he a drummer?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the band was called The Band.
This was probably, I was probably in this before, but you know what I mean? I'm talking 78. I was young, but, I remember even that band from the singers from another country and his White something.
White Lion. It was
White Lion.
Mike
I
Trent.
believe they were from Staten Island too.
The guitar player was Vito Bratta.
Okay, somebody like that.
Yeah, he started out in a band called Storm.
Yeah, how old is he now? Because
he's older than me, so he's got to be in his late 50s or early 60s.
That's what I'm saying. I believe I might have jammed with him because I'm 57.
He was a guitar virtuoso.
He's amazing. He was an amazing guitar player.
Yeah, but this was like a long time ago, and it was just like it never, and then I just got into hanging out at the shore, and I liked pussy a lot better. If I didn't have to fucking stay on stage for 2 hours and I can just go and get it.
Well, you did some crazy shit too. Like were you a pro wrestler?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, because me and Norton did. Jim Norton did it was a bachelor party for Shane McMahon, and they loved me. And who's the gay guy? The Pat Patterson, right? Mm-hmm. He's all over. He's got his hand. Oh, kid, we're gonna make you a star. And I'm like, I'm kind of, blowing in his ear too because I needed a job. Yeah.
And other things.
Yeah. But I had a neighbor, Larry Sharp, that had a wrestling school, and Vincent and
Monster Factory.
If you know how to do it, you can do announcing, you can take falls and all that. But nothing came from it. But it was 3 years of really having fun and enjoying what these people. What you see on TV, if you think you can do it, you're out of your fucking mind. I'd love to see you just get in the ring and do basic bumps.
Oh, let me tell you, man. I've been a wrestling fan since I was 5 years old, and I still
comics and wrestling always seem to go hand in hand.
Oh yeah, to this day, the scariest thing I ever did was do ring announcing for a local fed. They asked me to. You got me that gig.
I did.
You did. That's right. I was terrified that night because
at Bayonne, that school was closing.
I know. But my biggest fear was like not stumbling over the words, was falling through the ring.
Oh yeah,
I was terrified that I was gonna like trip over the ropes and fall on my face. There was a lot of people in there.
Yeah.
And every time
we get about 400 people.
I'm holding my breath walking into the ring, and the last match, my toe just clipped the rope and my watch fell off and exploded all over the ring. Yeah. I was so terrified. But let me tell you, man, you're absolutely right. That is a whole different beast than being on stage with a band or a musician or anything.
You got to know what you're doing because you can hurt somebody or they can hurt you.
Yeah.
Because if you're losing the match, you're doing all the work. Just guide you. Don't toss you. Don't hit you. You know what I mean? It's basically guiding. And that's all you're doing. It's very easy to be winning. You're not really doing anything.
Did you get into that first, the wrestling first or comedy?
Comedy.
How old were you when you got into comedy?
28, 28. Yeah, I love it. I was always a wrestling fan. And the good thing about...
What were you doing between high school and 28 then?
Probably nothing good, I'll tell you that.
If you can't remember, it was awesome.
Were you a musician?
I was for a short time.
Because your son's an excellent musician.
Yeah, but I was a landscaper and I was a painter. So that means I did landscape in the summer, and then we went to New York City and we painted and chipped up the welfare houses so people can live fucking like humans. And that's what I did for a while. We got fired a lot. We'd go out. We'd also go to the discos because the hot chicks were there.
Girls.
So
absolutely.
I'd come into work landscaping on Saturday with my black slacks on and a shirt. And my boss Nunzio was like, "Look at you, you piece of stones. Go lay down in the van." And I'd lay in the van all day. But yeah, I was, dealt weed, look, I had to get into something. It was no way to continue.
What was your first time on stage? Like what prompted you to get on stage? Like, how do you make the transition from selling weed, landscape and painting
to being a lunatic? Basically, you left out that part. Okay, how I got into comedy is probably nobody else's story. Otherwise, they're fucking lying. Because basically, we hung out at this bar, the Gingerbread Lounge. It was known as probably one of the baddest fucking bars in Staten Island. And if shit happened there a lot. And my job was, when new people came in that we didn't know, my job was to make fun of them so they wanted to fight us. So, and then after a while, my friend Buddy goes to me, he goes, you're pretty funny when you do that shit. You should try comedy. Because Jackie the Joke Man is in West Orange because we listen to Stern. And that's how it happened.
Wow.
And did you run shows at the Swiss Chalet in Great Hills?
Absolutely. A good friend of mine owned that.
Gentili, right?
Yeah, Mike Gentili.
Yeah.
Good fucking man.
One of my buddies did the door, guy.
What's his name?
Human Tank, Greg Manos.
Oh, okay. I knew the other guy too, the lanky fucking the blonde guy.
This guy was he's a Greek guy. At the time he had like flowing long hair. Now he's
we used to go in there. We were friends with them. And Mike's place, it was like Hogan's Heroes downstairs.
And who'd you have? You had some great comics come through that place, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, Otto, Bobby Woods. I mean, it was the gang that we hung out with. Vic, Chips. It was just the gang. It was the gang back then. That was the gang.
Sean, this was a place that was like a pool table, a bar. It was almost like a neighborhood Cheers type of place.
Yeah.
But like I heard that you ran shows. I was like, I don't even remember comedy being there. And that had to be maybe less than a mile from my house.
Yeah.
I lived literally, a half mile away.
Yeah, it was great there. It was another bar you can go to and try to get some ass if there wasn't any in yours.
That's crazy. And then you also you fought Danny Bonaducci?
Yeah, that's kind of fake. You know what I mean? The whole slap thing was fake. I took wrestling. He was supposed to push me. All right. Then I hit him. That tape went on for about 3 minutes of me just going, well, your left foot is shorter than the other, like me insult. I'm out of insults. And I just go, let me just fucking hit him. You know what I mean?
Was this done for like charity or a radio stunt or something?
But it was a lot of bullshit, it turned out to be. You know what I mean? It was really supposed to be totally set up, everything, and then twisted around and that shit. And it was confusing. And I don't like to do business like that.
Have you ever mixed comedy and music?
Just bring my son. I love it. I definitely want to do.
Don't you write some of the songs?
Well, yeah, I help out. I wrote a lot when I got out of rehab. I got like 30 of them I wrote in like 5 days, and just incredible words and all that stuff.
I say music or just lyrics or both?
I just do lyrics, and then he grabs the guitar, and I go, I kind of want it to go like this. And he knows exactly what, like we are the Gallagher brothers.
Kind of just like.
We are the Gallagher brothers.
Yeah.
We're going to argue over if I say, Dom, can you turn the fucking light down? You know what I mean? Like anything, because we're in that mode. But we're really good, brilliant at it. So like I said, we're going to start doing it. I go, let's put out an album of yours, but let's do an album of what I want to do. What I think rock should come back as right now. One band that I see that has it, and I agree now. I don't care what is it, Greta Van
Fleet.
Let me tell you something.
That's Sean's favorite band, by the way.
No, but I'm saying I've heard a lot more than one song.
Right.
These guys can jam. Okay,
they're young. That's what they got going
and they play live.
No, but they're bringing back this sound. It's a nice like a Zeppelin type thing, but his voice.
Wait,
even
a
goes,
Zeppelin type thing? I think it's almost saying, is Zeppelin exact?
It's not exactly. It's a sound. It's like you look up to a hero. That's not Zeppelin. That is somebody that is just, that was fans of this with a heavy drum. The bass comes in solid. The singer has his voice is a Robert Plant, and also the singer from Rush. He can almost hit those notes too. So it's kind of unique the way his voice is right now. And it fits perfectly. And what the fuck else is there?
Well, that's the thing. I don't want to shit on Greta Van Fleet because, like, I'd rather listen to that than the Jonas Brothers.
Well, but I mean, come on. Well, some of Sean.
I don't know.
Oh, you like the Jonas
Brothers? No, listen. Anything that's written, I like. You know what I mean? If you put any kind of thought or emotion into it, I like. I can't get on the Greta Van Fleet train. I just can't do it.
I didn't
because
for a while either, brother.
You know what it was too? Like, here's an example. Like, I'm two favorite bands, right? My favorite band's Guns N' Roses.
Okay.
So I never got to see them live when they were out. So then I saw the Axl version come out, right? And they have DJ Ashba. So I don't know if you know who he is. No. He's a mind-blowing guitar player.
I thought Bumblefoot was.
He got thrown out, and he was doing rhythm, and then DJ's playing lead. So I'm at Roseland, watch them. Now,
you saw the Axl Rose version at Roseland?
Yes, at Roseland.
How long ago was this?
Well, right before when Democracy came out. So 10 years ago, 12 years ago.
Even then, that's
so now I have a great ear because, you know, I've played, I've been in bands, whatever. So I know Slash's sound. Now I'm watching DJ Ashba play, and I'm like, wow, I'm looking, he's playing through his Marshall stack like Slash does. And I'm like, oh, he's playing a Les Paul through like Slash does. And I'm looking down, and he has every pedal that Slash uses. Yeah. So he's not changing anything. He's literally just mimicking his sound, not putting any special licks in, not putting any
notes in. He's a cover band, basically.
He was a cover, exactly. He was an absolute cover band.
I wonder if the directive comes from Axl's, like, we got to make these songs sound like that.
At that point, I think it did.
It got to sound just like that.
I just don't think that's the way to go.
I don't either.
You can't do it. You cannot recreate with different people. You let them be themselves. And that's when you get into the next sound that can create something huge again.
I went down to Philly to see Guns N' Roses play when they got reunited. And I went by myself with a friend. I wouldn't let any of my friends or my wife see them because I was going to cry. Yeah. Because that was my band. So that was just like, so if you never saw Zeppelin and then you saw Plant and Page come back. Yeah. That's an emotional thing. I remember the first notes of It's So Easy. It was dun 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 dun. I'm bawling. I'm in the second to last row at the vet. I'm crying hysterical because that was an emotional experience hearing the way it was supposed to be
heard. And when the security came over and said, this girl's having a panic attack, we got to get her out.
Did you ever get a chance to see Zeppelin?
You know what? I didn't. And that's one thing I regret. You know, everyone was going, and for some reason I was like, nah. And I was like, then everyone came back with the T-shirts, and I felt, you know, I just felt so fucking stupid. Me with my Piper T-shirt.
So if that was the one, if you can bring back one band to do a show at their peak, who would that be?
Well,
you never saw.
I would have to go with the Beatles.
That's what
because
you were gonna say.
I mean, the Beatles they're everything to me. Well, you know, it was like the first thing you heard, except for what we heard. Was on AM radio, basically. So the first rock
66.
song. Yeah. But no, the first rock song that I heard, probably in 1972, that I thought was rock was not Band on the Run, Fox on the Run.
Sweet.
Right. That was played all the time. That was like, you know, Jeremiah was a bullfrog. Yeah. That was the music that you heard, but then you knew the Beatles too, and everything else. And then once the Beatles came, everything else started to come. You know, it might have went weird when it went from Beatles to Foreigner to Boston for me, but then it also went to Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, Queen, early Queen, Aerosmith, early Aerosmith. You know, when you listen to early stuff like, and even rocks, it's just an amazing. It's not what you hear. You know what I mean? When you put on you listen to them and you're like, this ain't.
Did you get to see any incarnation of the Beatles, like McCartney or the Ringo All-Star Band or anything like that?
When I took my son to see Paul McCartney in Washington, right? The band is phenomenal. Their singing is amazing. Of course, you know, they got to have the help. Paul's voice is still pretty damn strong, okay? It's not what it was, but so they help him. You know what I mean? That's what friends do, I guess. But their voices are amazing. The instruments that they play everything. Everything is so tight with that band. If you listen to a live concert, you know, with good quality, and you're going to be shocked. And everybody, it's a love fest. When you see Paul McCartney, there's nothing. You could see why he's out there all the time. He don't need the money. No. There's nothing more fun than he can do in his life than give joy to people. Like if I met him, I would cry like a little girl because
I got a chance to meet him.
Really?
Yeah, I met him and I worked with him for a couple of years. And do you remember at the end of the 80s, McCartney had a comeback album called Flowers in the Dirt. This is after Wings. Mm-hmm. And he announced it on FM radio, I think like Z100, one of those like, you know, popular stations, that he was going to hold a press conference. and then he was going to do a concert, and I think they were doing it at the Belasco, one of the Broadway theaters. And my friends were working it, and I was in the city at the time, and I was like, I go down in the afternoon while they were setting up. I was like, hey, any chance you can get me in to see this?
Wow.
And he goes, my friend John Rosetnik, who at the time was Fox Security, goes, come back at 5. I'll get you in. I come back. He goes, I was dressed like in a dress shirt and pants. He goes, you want to work? I was like, yeah. He goes, well, since you dress like this, he goes, do VIP. So I do VIP. Axl Rose is there. Raquel Welch is there. Penny, my job. I'm sitting next to Penny Marshall. I'm working the VIP. After the show, you have to do a sweep of the theater. It means like you start at the stage and you work and you ask everybody to leave and you don't go move a row until everyone's out. Right? We go out. As I'm doing it, my friend Fred Dorello, who to this day is Springsteen's road manager, he's up in the dressing room area. He goes, you want to come work the dressing room area? It may be like another hour. It could be another 2. He goes, but you want to do it? You know, extra money. It's like, yeah, I'll do it. Okay. Go up and I'm standing there. I'm there hanging out talking to Paul Schaefer, Waddy Wachell. He's the guitar player for Stevie Nicks now. You know, a couple other supermodels. I think some other like, you know, important people. About 45 minutes later, McCartney comes out of the dressing room.
Wow.
And the first person he makes a beeline to is me. And he asked me what my name is. He introduces himself because, you know, it had to be done. You know, because I wouldn't know who he was. He introduced himself to me, shakes my hand, thanks me for sticking around and doing it, introduced himself to my friend Fred, then invited his guests back into the dressing room. Every time he would come to New York, he stayed in this, and he was married to Linda at the time. Yeah. This all stopped after Linda passed away.
Yeah.
He would stay at the Plaza Athenry. And I would work the hotel. And he was very, very nice. And his management was very, very nice. And anything you want, if you needed anything signed, they'd accommodate you.
He seems that guy.
He was a complete gentleman. The only thing they requested was, if you're going to order food or bring food, don't bring meat, because they were both big vegetarians, especially Linda, and they get you the food if you wanted. So when he would go out, you know, he'd have his assignment, and my job was I would stay in the room. Now, this wasn't like, you know, the fucking shit rooms that we stay in when we do comedy. Okay, I mean, this was a duplex. It was an apartment, and it was the first time I'd ever seen a phone in the bathroom. So I would have to walk around just to make sure that everything was okay. And I go into this area, and there's his Rickenbacker.
Oh man!
Jeez. And I pick it up.
I thought you were going to say something else.
And
dude.
I took the no.
I thought you were going to say you found a log of his in the toilet, and I
that's on eBay for $5,000.
And then I jerked off on his pillow, so we'll always have this symmetry.
That's great.
No, I pick up the Rickenbacker and I play it, and he had like a file of facts, and I saw George Harrison's phone number in there, and I called my father like, Dad, I can call George Harrison right now. I'm not going to do it if I could do it.
That's funny. Yeah. You know, he has that effect on everybody. Like, did you ever see that documentary Sound City?
I've probably seen
so Dave Grohl, there was like the big studio Sound City in California where like all these amazing albums were recorded on, like, you know, Fleetwood Mac to Nirvana recorded Nevermind.
This is in LA, you said?
It was in LA.
So is that like the Electric Lady version of
kinda, yeah.
Okay.
So they did was they were closing the studio, so Dave Grohl wound up buying the mixer board.
Oh, nice.
And he had all these people come in to record this album. It's a Sound City soundtrack. So they wrote all these amazing records. And like he had like Stevie Nicks come in, he had Rick Springfield, guys from Queens of the Stone Age. Then he had Paul.
By the way, do you like Rick Springfield?
One of my favorites.
Me too.
One of my favorites.
Gonna go see him again this summer.
He's opening up for Chicago.
That's my birthday gift. One of my Christmas gifts to my wife. We're doing the whole VIP thing with Chicago.
Very nice.
Oh, yeah. Chicago, another band. Oh my God.
There's a scene in the movie, in the documentary, where they videoed all the recording. And they bring Paul McCartney in. So McCartney just walks in. So it's Dave Grohl, Chris Novoselic, and Pat Smear. So it's all of Nirvana minus Kurt Cobain jamming. And then Paul McCartney just comes in and they just start recording this and writing and recording a song. And all of a sudden you hear Dave Grohl go, Paul McCartney singing for Nirvana. And it's like this surreal experience, but like he has that effect on everybody because no matter what kind of music you like, that's as close to music God as you're going to get.
Yeah.
That really is.
Always say that, man.
And when he goes, that's going to be amazing.
That's
I mean, Ringo, who gives a shit? But when Paul McCartney goes, that's going to be a huge hit.
It's almost not fair that he has to die. You understand? Like,
sure.
Certain people should be like maybe one every 10 years or 20 years that can live forever that they pick.
Yeah.
And he should be one of them because you just can't see it. Yeah, like I just think I was gonna say I just imagine what John Lennon would have put out, and he died at 40 years old.
I was gonna say he was 40 years old when he died.
40 years old, and look at what he's done. And it was just starting because of the fact he just had a kid. Now he had new writing stuff,
new
his
emotions,
life,
new topics.
Everything just started again. And it was like he was finally at peace with himself, I think, and where, his relationship and it all came together. And to have a piece of shit like that, do something like that, it just it makes you just wanted to kill that guy so bad.
Did you guys get a chance to see the movie yesterday?
Not yet.
No, I didn't.
It's a great premise, though.
Yeah, I mean, but
See, Lennon's solo stuff for me is on the same level as a lot of the Beatles stuff, too.
It's really, my son plays, we listen to that all the time coming back from gigs. Woman, just an unbelievable song.
It's of Double Fantasy, right?
No, I don't think it is. It probably earlier, but I'll tell you one
Woman,
thing.
I think it is.
No.
I don't know. But that to me was that was my favorite Lennon album. I think that's his last album.
Yeah,
I don't know if I quite agree that I think there's something special about the Beatles and Lennon and McCartney together. The way I look at them, I put them in the same category as Mozart and Beethoven when it comes to musical genius.
Just look at all the music they put out in 7 years.
It's unbelievable.
That's the whole thing. People
thing.
You have Aerosmith, who's been around for 40 years, who has still put out music. And some of their newer stuff isn't that great, but they've put out some good stuff in the last 20 years, but 7 years.
And I can say, honestly, there's only one song I can do without. And
Octopus's Garden?
No.
Rocky Raccoon.
Yellow Summer.
Oh, yeah, it's a garbage song.
Yeah.
Well, you know why? Ringo.
Okay. But anything else, I love. I can listen. I listen everything straight through. There ain't nothing. When it's Beatle weekend or something like that on the radio, I got that on. I'm dancing in the house.
Did either of you guys catch that 50 years ago today tour?
What was
it? Was Todd Rundgren, Jason Schiff from Chicago, Mickey Dolenz from the Monkees, Christopher Cross, and Bob Moulin from Badfinger. With a couple of other musicians, and they did their two of their own songs and the whole Beatles White Album.
Wow,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was. I mean, to hear Glass Onion live, I remember when you said Rocky Raccoon, and it was the only song that Mickey Dolenz did good.
Really?
Yeah.
I actually went to
and it has probably one of my favorite Beatles songs of all time.
Is it really?
Yeah. Well, it has not that song. While My Guitar Gently Weeps.
Yeah, that's a great song.
That's amazing.
See, for me, it's like if you listen to Helter Skelter, that's the beginning of heavy metal for me.
For you?
If you think about it, I mean, that came out before Sabbath came out.
Yeah, Sabbath was
Ozzy's favorite band is the Beatles.
Yeah, but
it would not be there for that.
I think metal goes before that. I think you almost go back to bands, to metal goes back to blues. And then it goes to bands like the Yardbirds and even Deep Purple.
Yeah, Deep Purple was pretty.
It's like the first, and then they influence bands like Sabbath, to why become Priest and Maiden, all that other stuff.
I went to see the John Lennon 75th birthday show at the Garden.
Wow.
When was that?
A couple years ago. And it was just a huge amount of people. It was everybody from the guy from Train to Chris Stapleton to Willie Nelson, Chris Christopherson.
Why did I know about that?
Amazing show. And then when you sit back and you realize you're hearing all of Lennon's songs and a lot of the Beatles songs, and you see how it just crossed over to so many genres too.
What performances stood out? I would love to see that. Holy shit.
Willie Nelson did Imagine.
Did he really?
Which is great. The guy from The Killers, Brandon Flowers.
Oh, he's great. Yeah.
Did Instant Karma, which is one of my favorite songs too.
Yeah.
But it was just an all around amazing show. Eric Church was there. I couldn't even begin to tell you how many people were on the show. Kevin Bacon hosted it. It was on TV. They put it out on TV. I'll bring you a copy next show.
I did not see. I would love to.
Amazing show. And the cool part was I had really crappy seats, and I went to try and upgrade them, and they heard, "Hey, aren't you that comedian?" And I got upgraded down to like 3 sections lower.
Wow,
which is very cool. It was a great show, and it just shows you like how the Beatles affected everybody from country to pop to rock to metal, all on one show. Because you even had Tom Morello doing "Power to the People."
Oh, I love Tom Morello.
You know, every genre was there, just celebrating them. They were great.
So it's fair to say probably your favorite band is going to probably be the Beatles then.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like it's amazing the way they use chords that many people don't use. You know what I mean? They would call it, it's like an E9 whatever high. I forget. My son says there's 2 that they use all the time to close a song. And they do 1 and 1, and it's a rare note that they use more than most. I'll let him explain it, but
yeah, he's amazing. I'll tune in when like you guys go live and he's at a gig and stuff, and I just watch him. And he's got that look.
He was supposed to be here today. Everybody.
You know, he's got that look.
He's in 5 bands.
Yeah, he's ridiculous. But I mean, the talent this kid has is unbelievable.
And he is. I mean, I wish Don was here, but he's an old soul.
Oh yeah,
big time.
He was, and you'll be there this summer when we do Comedy on the Stars. Dom came and hung out. Remember when you did it, and he brought his guitar, and we were just all hanging out, and he, just like you just yell out songs, and this kid's playing it, and it sounds great.
It's refreshing to see. How old is he? 20?
He's 20. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's so refreshing to see that.
Yeah,
so refreshing.
How does he know all these old songs? I mean, and he knows them.
He's got an old father.
Yeah, I mean, it's all I had. But him and Billy Thoden, who's his guitar player, had been since they started playing when they were 15. Billy's been playing guitar. Like I was going to see if I can get Billy to come out, but he had to do stuff because he's the lead. He's the Eric Clapton in the Cream tribute band, one of the huge ones that tour all over the world. Okay, and he's 19. So the 2 of them together, they are the Lennon and McCartney. I don't give a shit if other people don't want to listen. The band will be hired around you too, and that's how we're gonna write. We're gonna go into the studio. I've never seen, they can play every instrument, the 2 of them. Yeah, my son can only not play the drums. Well, he can now, but it's just. He can keep a bit, but they can do this themselves. And they're both their voices together are perfect on everything. But they go, anybody can can do a cover, but nobody can do a cover like they do. But they still look at it. It's a cover. They want to do their own stuff.
They put their own spin on it. What kind of music did you play at home then, like that influenced your son? Did you play a lot of Beatles the stuff that we were just talking about?
Well, I was married to his mother at the time. Most of the music was coming from sirens from the police cars in front. Just regular, whatever. Maybe SpongeBob got him into it. I don't know. I don't know what it was, but it was me bringing him to the Paul McCartney show that night and him going, "Dad, you still got a bass?" And I was like, yeah.
But how did he say, "Oh man, that's old. That's old people music," and then like not turn into like get into like electronic or the DJ stuff that we were talking about off air?
No, he just goes. He's in the jazz. He's in the blues. He's in the people that they might put together. They go, if we're gonna do anybody, let's do Stevie Ray Vaughan. Let's really rock it out and show people what music was. And and they have horns. They have a horn section. They have keyboards. I mean, Billy on the guitar, him on the bass. You can't. There ain't nobody. I've never seen somebody that could play the bass like him. And you'll see what I'm talking about when you really see him up live.
He's got rhythm.
He's gonna blow your fucking mind.
There's, what it is. There's people who are technically sound, like who can play technical notes and scales, and
you feel it.
But you see it with him, like his body's coming through, and it's coming through his hands, and he's feeling every note that he's playing. I love. Every time he goes live, I make sure I watch it.
Yeah, thank you.
It's awesome.
See, that would make him very happy to hear that because he just likes to have fun. He likes to just have fun with people.
You can tell.
He tries stuff. He goes, I'm going to try this,
Well, I mean, that's the same thing with comedy. If you don't try something and fail and realize it doesn't work, right?
Well,
you got to be willing to try.
I don't know what that's like either.
What,
Personally,
failing in comedy?
no.
What does he mean? We'll be right back after this. No, I'm kidding.
It's refreshing though. It's like I was saying today to some people.
Well, a lot of people like to play shit safe.
Well, I said, I wrote 10 minutes of new shit on Saturday morning. And I said, you know what? I got 2 shows tonight. And I'm doing it. I opened up with 10 minutes of stuff I have never even worked out before. And they got great.
You had 10 minutes of material on a Saturday morning.
That I wrote.
You talked about a Saturday morning for 10 minutes.
That would pretty much. Pretty much.
It's funny when you wake up on a Saturday morning
and write about Saturday morning.
But it was so refreshing.
It is.
Because you fall into a rut sometimes of doing the same stuff. And that's because it gets a laugh and you want to feed your ego. But I was like, you know what? I don't care. I'm doing it.
If you're funny, you can go on in front of that. Just listen what's going on. And go up there with nothing in your head and just whatever happened to you, just talk about it. That's what I do.
Yeah.
I'll do any, you know what I mean? I'll talk about anything that happened in my life. That's what makes radio interesting.
Do you write stuff down when you write, or is it? Or do you
I do write stuff. I have 2 big, I probably can have another hour and a half of material that I have to put in at home. But a lot of times I'll either tweet it and then I'll send it inbox to my wife, or at the club, I usually say, write that down. Right. If I say write that down, but then somebody goes, you wanted me to write that down, and I get in the same, because I'm one of those maniacs that I'm thinking if I recorded every set, I would go into this fucking phase of not doing this good set because I'm a psycho.
Never do it.
You're in Atlantic City a lot.
Yeah.
So when you're in Atlantic City, are you going on stage and how much is it prepared and how much is it just kind of like you're just kind of riffing
nothing
and writing
is
on
really
stage?
Prepared at all. It's not enough time to do it, and it's that crowd. It's that kind of tired, gambling, out of town. It's a mixture. So you got to be able to be on your game for everything.
See, I do the exact opposite. I do the greatest. Whenever I work at Atlantic City, I do the greatest hits. Because they're not there for comedy. They're there because they got a free ticket and they're trying to kill an hour.
They're there. I've with Matt at AC Jokes, him and Ray. What is it?
AC Jokes.
ACJokes.com. They put on shows that they're good comedians. They're all good comedians. You know what I mean? And it makes it easy. And it's close with 20, 25. And you get it. You don't have to you got 4 or 5 comedians, know, you keep them around close to the same time. It works. Not having 5 people do 5, 5, 5 and you do an hour. It doesn't work that way.
Couldn't agree with you.
I'd rather work in front of somebody doing 10 minutes and let me do an hour and 20.
Right. Yeah. I agree 100%.
Yeah. I've seen clubs do that. Some of the clubs in the city, they'll give someone, 5 minutes, 8 minutes, 20 minutes, go back to an open mic and doing 5 minutes, 15 minutes, and it's too off balance for the audience.
You know what I mean? To fucking be told not to do anything for nothing. You know what I mean? And bust your balls for fucking, you know what I mean? I never seen a club owner in the city that wasn't fucking totally rich and didn't have the best in everything. Okay? They don't pay comedians. You know what I mean? The only one that paid was Caroline's. I remember making doing a late show and they'd give me $1,500 after I already did another thing wherever in North Jersey. But to make $25, why are you only worth, all right, I'm going to take you into Jersey and tell you someone's going to come and I'm going to give you $25 a set. You're not going to go for it. But in the city, I can open up a club and gives people $25. I would rather have every show would be 4 comedians, right? One would do 10, 15, 20, and 25, and that's the show. You know what I mean? Not all these 10 minutes of bullshit. No, you have a great show and that's it.
I think the thing with the city is that you don't want to do it for this amount. Fine. There'll be 20 other comedians.
Oh, yeah.
I don't live in the
about
city.
1 second.
Yeah. Do something for me. Do something for people that don't live in the fucking city. You're not starving, okay?
Right.
Fucking pictures of your steak every fucking night on fucking Facebook. You don't think I look at this shit? How many times you motherfuckers are on vacation? They're always on vacation waving. You know what I mean? I've been
I know exactly who you're talking about.
A lot of people. But the whole fucking thing is, I haven't been on vacation in fucking 15 years, okay? But I'm just saying, you just look on Facebook and Twitter, vacations, fucking, they're out eating, fucking
Listen,
drinking.
It's a different beast. It's a totally different beast. And I always say, people always ask me who has helped you, right? And I'm a firm believer of helping people.
Oh, I
have people who I've mentored, and I say there's 2 female comics who have taught me more about comedy, but the one comic who's helped me more without even realizing it is the man right here. Because when
Jeffrey?
No, he's not a comedian.
Oh,
so
okay.
No, I'll never forget. I was very new. I was only a few months in.
Really?
And I had messaged Bob and I said, I'm up and coming. I'd like to do a spot and get my feet wet. And it was no problem. It was at the Hotel Indigo in Berkeley Heights. And I was about 3 or 4 months in, and everybody was there. It was you, Shuli, Sal, all the guys. And you said to me, do you want to host? And I looked you right in the eye and go, I've never hosted before. And Shuli just went, I got it. Don't worry. And you said, do a spot. And that night I was like, okay, if I'm going to do this, I have to stop putting the cart before the horse and earn my chops.
Exactly.
And that night was eye-opening for me. And that's when I started. And then I started asking to host, and I would host everything I could possibly host. And then I got better. And then I started featuring, and now I'm the world-class headliner that you see right now, and it's all because of you.
Thank you.
It's very true. I truly believe. I truly believe that.
You hear that a lot about you, Bob. And
I get to hear it. I don't remember a lot of it. It's just the way that you are as a human that you want to help people.
You did influence a lot of comics. And there's some funny stories about comics you took with you on different road trips and stuff.
Yeah.
And didn't you do something at one of the Woodstocks?
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah,
probably.
I mean, which story there?
Something with co-ed showers.
Oh fucking goddamn it! They had a co-ed shower, right? And
tell the story. So for the people who listen.
Woodstock '94, right? They wanted to have comedians go there, which is it's a good idea, sure. So. I ended up getting an 8
Now,
ball.
Woodstock '94, that was the one that was outside in the air in the hangars, right?
Yeah,
with unbelievably
Green Day, I think. Aerosmith headline at night.
I should have went to that show because that was on my 18th birthday, and I didn't go, and I wound up wrecking my car and totaling it, and spent 2 days in ICU instead of going to that fucking show.
All right, well, this will make you happy then. Okay, so I get an 8 ball, right? So now we're doing. I'm the only one.
Nothing good's going to come from this story.
I'm the only one doing college. Then I met somebody else that did it, and I was like, all right. So I had someone to do it with. And, we're in like a tent. It's like, like vegetarian cooking, like all the, then they had all these African like outfits, you know what I mean, of these players and that stuff. And Norton was lit next to me, right? And he just he's like, look how long that guy's dick is, because it was like all the way, like he had long shorts on, and like he goes, it's like the helmet wants to come out and get tickled, and I'm just fucking dying. And then one of the comedians kept going into the shower, because there was hot chicks, man, and now you can go in there with the guy, and I'm like fucking, I'm all fucking coked out. I'm like, I don't want to go in there with guys and fucking girls, So I go in there, and there's hot chicks there. I look down at my dick. I got coke dick, and I just
what's coke dick?
When your dick gets real small and it shouldn't be, it just looks like it's brand new, and they just stuck it on you.
A golden raisin.
And I came out and I looked at Florentine, and he goes, "What happened?" I go, "I think I got booed out of the shower." It was just like it was like. They had the porta potties, and they would give us, it looked like pot roast shit, right? And you would look at, all of a sudden you're walking around and you look and there's a porta potty. The door is open, and you look, and I look, and it's Norton sitting there with his legs wide open with a paper plate and a fork, and he's eating something that looks like like pork, you know what I mean? Like the meat, like all grind up, pot roast.
Yeah.
And he's eating it. He goes, "Hey man, that stuff ain't bad in here." And the fucking everyone's like, "Oh," that's walking by. It was like things like that. You know what I mean? That was just like. And then I remember
was Voss there?
Yeah, Voss was there. Yeah, and Don Jamieson was on stage, and somebody threw a 32-ounce bottle of piss at him. I've never had somebody. I've never seen it happen before. So it was the funniest thing in the fucking.
Great.
It was stupid to put comedians on. We were in like a fucking corner, and nobody gave a fucking shit. And I remember somebody threw a fucking big bottle of piss at him. That's all. Like certain things you'll never forget. But it was a wonderful experience, you know.
Maybe if we have Don on here, we can all just like pee in a bottle and just recreate the whole.
You know what?
Really
I hope he remembers that.
We got to bring that.
How could you not remember getting a bottle of piss thrown at
Well, fuck,
you?
I never did, and it didn't even happen to me. But he had this colorful vest on. He looked like some kind of game show host from like 1972. It was like
Wink Martindale.
Yeah, like something Mr. Furley would wear.
Oh God!
You got to see the picture. If you see the picture, you'll know what I'm talking about. But I've seen it.
That's great.
I got to just like jot that down.
Jot that down. Yeah, he got a huge bottle of piss drawn at you, and you seen it. It couldn't have went any slower in the air to make me laugh so much. You know what I mean? The way that I giggled as I seen that urine bottle just floating in the air towards him.
And
he's like,
amazing.
"Hey, but then you know what the thing?" And the fucking piss is like floating around in a big fucking Mountain Dew bottle. I fucking loved it.
So before this went by unbelievably quick.
Well, come on, this is what happens when you know how to do this shit,
right? But before we wrap it up, I just wanted to like bring this up to you guys. You had to be doing a bit, okay? But this past weekend, the passing of Neil Peart, okay? Rush, to me, I loved Rush. They're in my top 5 bands of all time.
That was not a bit.
And when I think about Neil Peart and his playing and the fills on songs like Tom Sawyer and Limelight and the instrumental YYZ, which I heard coming over here, and then the lyrics on songs like Passage to Bangkok and Twilight Zone, and 2112. I mean, he to me, I thought he was one of the best musicians of when you talk about McCartney as a musician, I put Neil Peart in that as a percussionist. I think he was voted the 4th best drummer of all time behind Bonham, Keith Moon, and Ginger Baker.
Okay, yeah, so that's not too bad.
Were you a Rush fan?
I really dug their shit. We used to play one of their songs. I just don't remember what it was a long time ago, but it wasn't one you heard on the radio a lot. But yeah, I mean, did I go crazy for them? No. Did I go see them? No. Do I love their stuff when it comes on? Yeah.
Didn't like Rush.
Don't like Rush.
It's not. I didn't say I didn't like them. I said I like them.
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't?
I don't.
Sean doesn't like it.
I don't. I'm not into it, man.
He got some backlash.
I did catch a lot of heat. I don't care. It's just my opinion. Like, look, I'm not denying that they're a great band. I'm not denying. No, I'm not denying.
Do you have a thing about Canadians?
No, because Nickelback's a great band.
You see, yeah.
Yeah, I was hoping he would say Triumph, but he had to go with...
I was hoping he said Bryan Adams at least.
Bryan Adams is great too.
Yes.
But you know what? I will never deny great musicianship, and they're phenomenal musicians. It's just not my thing, and I've tried. I really have tried. I think there's 4 songs.
12, the Overture.
I think if I have 4 songs of Rush on my phone, it's a lot.
You know what band I guarantee upsets him the same way?
Tool.
From an earlier time. Yes.
Yeah, that's a great way. I could see
horrible.
I could see him hating.
Okay,
horrible.
That's what it is. You're not gonna get them, because if you're not gonna get Rush, you're not gonna get. Yes is probably a different kind of version
Much
of
more. I mean, Rush was hard. They're a progressive rock band. Yes was they were the definition of a progressive rock band.
I just know Owner of a Lonely Heart. That's the only song I know.
You should know that. You should know that.
That's the hit.
You should, but you should know that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say.
Here's the 7. I have Spirit of the Radio.
Okay.
I have Tom Sawyer, YYZ, Limelight, Stick It Out and Cold Fire from 93. So that was newer stuff that I actually that's how I got into them, is those couple songs.
Okay.
And then Closer to the Heart.
93, that was a Roll the Bones album.
Counterparts.
Because I'm sorry, Roll the Bones was early. That was 91. That was the last thing I listened to the day I got married.
The day the music ended.
Roll the Bones. Roll the Bones, 91. I was listening to a Rush
It's almost
album.
like you hear the DJ go, the needle go right across the fucking beautiful record.
I don't deny the great musicianship, man, but it's just one of those things.
I understand
Deep Purple's another one. Jethro Tull. I could throw my guts up.
I never got Jethro Tull, and they were selling
with
the
a
garden
flute. You're playing a flute in a rock band.
Yeah,
Shut up.
My friends loved it.
No.
Breath?
No.
Okay, yes. You did you like Yes, Bob?
I like some, because
Heart
I played
of the Sunrise.
I played the bass.
Great
I
song.
played Long Distance Runaround.
He was amazing. Chris Squire?
Oh my God, on bass, he was a fucking animal,
Yeah.
And then another band who I loved back then was a band. It was more of a whatever. It was Joe Jackson.
Joe Jackson is awesome.
Yeah.
I love Joe Jackson.
Their bass player, Graham Maybe, is probably one of the best bass players
is he really
ever.
Going out? Is she really going out with him?
Yeah.
Oh, Joe Jackson.
Yeah.
Oh, he was
Yeah.
doing
Dude,
great.
Anthrax covered him.
Yeah, he was
listen
amazing.
to I'm the Man on the band. I'm the Man. It's a bass.
I used to run into him at bars in the city.
Dude.
He was an awesome dude.
Fucking listen to them. Listen to early Police.
Oh, Police are amazing.
He played Staten Island. Joe Jackson played Staten Island. Do you remember a place that was called Wave Street?
Yeah.
Joe Jackson played it. Ran into him. I asked him about that gig. He said, worst gig of his career. He fucking hated Staten Island. Hated playing Wave Street.
Yeah, well, it happens.
That's the end of that story.
But he also played. he also played at Great Adventure not too long ago, a few years back.
So that's the circuit, the State Fair circuit.
Yeah,
right?
but I'll tell you what, unbelievable. The sound, the bass.
How is that guy not bigger?
I have no
catalog.
idea.
Absolutely, a lot of people are like that. Though Christopher Cross was great.
Oh yeah,
people like that are just
shut up.
They just went into this whole AM radio.
You cannot possibly bring it Christopher Cross up in this conversation.
He did.
I just did.
He just did.
Let's talk more about White Panther or whatever fucking shitty Staten Island band.
Jesus.
Yes, this is gonna be the new sequel to the Black Panther.
We need another band from Staten Island. It's got to be an animal with a color.
Well, that was the thing. That was the thing back in the 80s.
Hey, let's go see Yellow Cat tonight.
Yeah, Orange Iguana's playing.
Christopher
Hey,
Cross.
it's Pretty Bird tonight.
Yeah, I saw Pretty Bird. They were excellent.
Only their second album.
Yeah, they did the same thing.
You jerk. Let's wrap this up.
Yes.
Wrap this up.
Bob, where are you going to be?
I'm going to be at Uncle Vinny's tomorrow. Wednesday. What's today? We changed it.
Yes, today is
this airing when?
Today's well, it depends on Adam. If
Adam will get him up
if
by
Adam gets
Wednesday.
this,
I would plug next week's gigs.
Yes.
Go to unclevinnies.com, go to acjokes.com, and hopefully I get my operation on the 22nd. It's going to be at 9 in the morning if they allow it. We have about 6 seats left for the operation. So if you want to get it.
Catch Bob at the operation.
Now, I mean, dinner and show is sold out.
Good.
How about you, Mr. Morton?
Headlining Catch a Rising Star in Princeton, January 24th, 25th. Headlining White Plains Comedy Club, January 31st. And then I'm doing the Norwegian Escape.
What?
Nice.
February 29th through March 7th.
Cruise ship.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah. See, all because of you, Bobby.
Wow.
See, Sean is big time.
No, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
I went on a cruise, to a weekend cruise, you know what I mean? And I come home Monday, we land fucking, in New York City. Tuesday, the World Trade Centers get hit. And everyone's looking at it like, taking pictures. And I'm like, you fucking people.
Yeah.
And this fucking happens fucking the next day after that. It was the saddest fucking thing ever. And I'm looking at it like I see this shit every day. And it should make everybody mad still.
Absolutely.
Never trust fucking anyone.
Don't trust anyone.
Especially Orange Iguana.
I'm going to be headlining a rowboat. That's what I got.
A
coming
rowboat.
up. I'm not going to be headlining. I couldn't
Didn't
sell
they
out. I couldn't sell out the rowboat.
Didn't they open for Piper?
Yeah, they were called Orange Rowboat. No, I have clubs in the city. I have some stuff coming up. The way I write this down in my calendar is just absolutely stupid. I don't even understand it.
Well, I'm sure the way you're writing it, the way you're telling right now, the audience will definitely be there.
Yeah.
Because I have
just roam around.
Just go to my.
You know
Facebook
what? Just give
page.
out your license plate and let people follow you. That'll be fucking
Here's
easy.
my number, folks. Just give me a call.
Oh, I'm going to be on Tiff's at the 18th this Saturday too. So
nice.
Uncle Vinny's Wednesday, Tiff's, and then AC Jokes give me a whole bunch of date. Follow me at Twitter at Levy_sir. I'm back. This is a new account. I've been knighted like Paul McCartney. So when I call Melissa Alano or whatever her name is a cunt again, maybe they won't throw me off since I'm knighted.
Yeah, well, once you're on your 19th Twitter handle too, it also doesn't.
It's unbelievable. It's like, hey, look, don't everyone follow Bob Levy 137.
Just go check us out on social media, our Instagrams, our Facebook, our Twitters, whatever what we got, and I think next month we said we're going to start doing this 2 times a month, right?
Yes, we're going to start going to twice a month, and then
you got to roll, man.
we have a great guest coming in, one of my favorite singers, Cassidy Catanzaro, formerly from Antigone Rising, has a new album coming out in March. She's going to come in and give her story, and she's going to perform 2 songs too. That's
going to be good, and we're going to have Jameson, and we're going to have a whole bunch of really interesting guests coming up on the show.
I may have one lined up that's going to blow everybody out of the water too.
So stick with us, guys.
It has something to do with the rowboat he's doing.
It's the singer from White Panther.
Our numbers for the first show were excellent, and we just ask people, just please keep supporting us. Subscribe, give us 5-star reviews. We're going to be on iHeartRadio. We're going to be on iTunes, all the places where you hear podcasts. So please.
And every time we're going to put up the links for this show, every link is going to be on it. So just join them all, retweet everything, repost everything. When you see stuff up, and get into it, man. Not many people are doing stuff that. This is your lifetime. This shows a different side of people that you don't know. You know what I mean? Sure. You've never seen this side of most people. You always hear like the same typical shit. This is what made our lives. We
mentioned blue cheese one time.
Exactly. Thank you.
Well, next time we have you in.
But he did bring up the Danny Bonaducci thing with it like a douche.
Bonaducci. Okay, guys, that is it. That is it for us. Catch us next time. Thank you very much.
Later.